Buster.
It's a wild ride, right? You've got Maxine, this survivor from absolute horror, trying to reinvent herself in the glitz and glamour of LA. But of course, the past has a nasty habit of catching up. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Nobody. So let's talk about that Maxxine ending, huh? What's interesting is how it ties into the whole X trilogy. It's like this twisted exploration of the human desire for fame and the lengths people will go to achieve it. In X, we saw this twisted, desperate old woman willing to kill for youth. In Pearl, we dove into the origins of that madness. And now, in Maxxine, we see a younger generation obsessed with stardom, even if it means facing down some serious demons. I mean, that ending is a roller coaster. Maxine, after all that chaos, actually seems to be on top. She's getting her big break, right? But then there's that final shot with the severed head. It's like a cold slap of reality. Even in success, there's this dark undercurrent. What do you think it all means? Is Maxine truly victorious, or is this just another chapter in a much larger story? Maxxine killer identity revealed, a shocking twist. Can you believe the killer in Maxxine turns out to be Maxine's own dad, Ernest Miller? Talk about a shock. This guy, a mega famous televangelist, is totally convinced that Hollywood is the devil's playground, corrupting the youth, the whole 9 yards. He comes to LA all righteous and protesty, acting like a concerned citizen, but secretly he's on a mission to cleanse the city of sin. And by cleanse, I mean, murder. Poor Leon, Molly, Tabby, and a bunch of other people close to Maxine become his victims. It's like he can't save these people with his preaching. So he resorts to this crazy, twisted way of saving them. Pretty wild, right? So let's talk about Ernest Miller, the creepy mastermind behind the terror in Maxxine. This guy is a real piece of work. He's obsessed with his daughter Maxine in a totally unhealthy way. Picture this. He's got this twisted plan to drag her back into his world, using her as the star of his own sick little movie. He's all about exposing the dark side of Hollywood, but really, he's just projecting his own messed up stuff onto the industry. It's like a classic case of the pot calling the kettle black. I mean, the guy is practically a murderer. Talk about hypocrisy. What's even more chilling is how close he comes to physically harming Maxine. It's a good thing those detectives showed up when they did. It's like he's this dark reflection of Maxine, but instead of fighting for her own life, he's trying to control hers.
Time to pay for your sins.
Lights out, bro.
The hidden meanings in Maxine's dream. It's like Maxine just goes completely off the rails after that insane shootout with her cult dad and the cops. She's cornered, gun in hand, and the helicopter's got her in its sights. Then, bam, she has this wild fantasy about becoming a huge star because of the whole mess. It's like she's trying to rewrite her life into a Hollywood ending, But then reality hits. She kills her dad, and fast forward a month, she's actually living the dream. It's nuts. She's a star. No legal trouble. The whole 9 yards. But here's the kicker. That little detail about the Hollywood sign being replaced with Maxxine in the credits. Is that just a cool visual thing? Or is it hinting that maybe, just maybe, this whole perfect life she's built is another one of her fantasies? It's like the movie's throwing in this last-minute curveball to make you question everything you just saw.
Hey.
The fate of Detective Williams. So, Detective Williams and Torres, played by those two awesome actors, are basically the cops trying to piece together this crazy killer puzzle in Maxxine. They end up getting pulled into Maxine's world, which, let's be honest, is like stepping into a tornado. Can you believe Torres doesn't make it? Total bummer. And Williams? She gets stabbed in the eye with a freaking crucifix. Like, what? The way they left it, it's unclear if she lives or dies. It's this perfect setup for a potential sequel or something. Imagine if she survived. That would be huge for Maxine, right? She could be her witness, help her out of this whole mess, and it leaves the door wide open for Williams to come back in another movie. Maybe even as a badass detective with an eye patch. What do you think? Could she have survived? Expanding the X mythos, possibilities for future films. So it looks like Maxxine might not be the end of the story. I mean, can you imagine another X movie? That's wild. It seems like Ty West has some more tricks up his sleeve. Maybe we could see a movie focused on a completely different character, or maybe even a prequel or something. I'm really curious to see where they take it. A movie about the priest II would be super meta and totally crazy. It could be a fun way to explore the world of the movies within the movie. Plus, it would give Mia Goth a chance to do something different. And let's not forget about the ending of Maxxine. So many questions left unanswered. Did Detective Williams survive? What really happened to Maxine? Is she actually on top of the world? Or is it all in her head? A fourth movie could be the perfect chance to tie up those loose ends. I'm definitely on board for more X. What do you think? Deciphering the X Trilogy's final chapter. Yeah, Maxxine really ties the whole trilogy together, doesn't it? It's like this crazy roller coaster of fame and its dark side. We see how dangerous and alluring it can be. Maxine's character arc is pretty powerful. She starts off as this ambitious girl trying to make it big, but then she actually grows as a person. Helping Detective Williams, even though it puts her in danger, shows a real change in her. It's like she's breaking free from just thinking about herself. And can we talk about how these characters like Labatt and Ernest try to control everyone around them? It's like they have this warped idea of how things should be, and they'll do anything to make it happen. But Maxine, she's a fighter. She doesn't let them push her around. In the end, Maxxine is about strength, resilience, and the determination to carve your own path. It's a pretty inspiring message. What do you think about Maxine's character growth? So it was for today's. See you in the next video. Till then, bye-bye and take care.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.